Now that we were in hard mode, it felt like we were back to square one. There was new weapons, ores, and most of all new enemies. We felt completely helpless for a long portion of this video. We first discovered that the Hallow exists now, which was slowly taking over the world. To get the hard mode ores, we smashed some altars with the pawn hammer, unlocking the Be Gone Evil achievement. To start getting our life back together, we wanted to sort out our stuff, because it got to the point where you couldn't find anything anywhere. We set up a couple of platforms with some chests and item frames before getting rudely interrupted. What the fuck? And yeah, we quickly realized there is now levels to this. I made a big hole in the ground as I wanted to stop the Hallow from spreading too far, as it was pretty close to our base. But I kid you not, this wyvern was our biggest enemy at this point. After getting our ass whooped so bad, I thought I'd take a more leisured approach to the game, and I just sorted out all our items we had into the new storage system. After that, we went down in the mines to start getting some of the ores that I mentioned, and we stumbled upon a spider cave, granting the Jeepers Creepers achievement. When I got back, it was time for an outfit change, so I became a pretty pink maid. Next step was to go into the underworld and get some hellstone for a molten pickaxe, but we got rudely interrupted by some goblins, and it's pretty safe to say we got our cheeks slapped many times. We went back to the underworld, but we literally cannot catch a break. And take a good guess about how that went. At some point in the night, I killed the groom, which gave me the Till Death achievement. We died so much that night. Anyway, the next day we were back in the caves again for hellstone and obsidian, which finally allowed us to make a molten pickaxe, but I didn't get the achievement for it because I wasn't the one to craft it. Anyways, with this we can now grab the new ores such as palladium, unlocking the extra shiny achievement. Once I discovered the power of the dual wield mace, I started feeling unstoppable, but I was still very much stoppable. Back home, I got my hands on my first pair of wings, granting the Head in the Clouds achievement, and the maid fit with the flamingo is a ridiculously dripped out outfit. When I was about to leave the game, I accidentally clicked the sun on the main menu, which triggered the pre 1.4.5 title screen and unlocked the Going Old School achievement. We hopped back on the next day and got welcomed by none other than the Skeleton Prime. My little mace's bow and arrows didn't even tickle him, and that was a bit demoralizing. So we headed back in the caves after that kick in the teeth in hopes of getting some better loot, but the only thing we got from there was depression.
Bro, pula.
Back home, we made palladium drills, meaning we can now get mithril ore. But then after that, we made a mithril anvil to craft a bunch of cool shit on, and a mithril drill, meaning we can now get titanium, which is the best ore in the game at this point. That night, we got a blood moon, which wiped the whole village basically, and after that massive beating we took, we finally discovered classes are a thing. I decided to focus on the magic class, and my friend wanted to go down the summoner route. The best kit for the summoner at this point in the game is the spider armor and staff, so we spent a good while massacring spiders for that. Whilst down there, I killed this dude named Tim, which got me the There Are Some Who Call Him achievement. The best armor for me at the minute was the standard mineral ore, so I made some palladium armor. I also picked up a Shadow Flame hex tool we had around, and that was me sorted for now. Later that night, we got ambushed by the pirates, which went just about as well as you'd expect, but defeating them in the end granted the Walk the Plank achievement. The traveling merchant came through selling the orange Zappinator, which sounded cool, but was actually pretty deadbeat. A lot of the accessories that are good for the magic class require Nature's Gift, which you can find in the jungle, so I spent a long ass while trying to find some, and after a couple days, I got a total of 0. Skeletron Prime came back that night, and yeah, what did you expect? I needed to feel a bit better about myself, so I went and got the Inter-Orbit achievement for reaching that maximum height. There were a couple items I needed from Sky Chests, so I searched the Sky Islands for a good while. But we've stalled the game progression for way too long now, so we set up an arena in hopes that it will help with the mechanical bosses, but it turns out we're just straight cheeks at the game. So we summoned the Queen Slime instead, and defeating her granted the Just Desserts achievement. From that, we got our hands on a Blade Staff, which is a pretty crazy item for the summoner, and I now have the Life Drain Staff. We felt brave with our new gear, so we summoned in the Mechanical Worm, and it wasn't even close. But nothing is stronger than human determination, so we spawned in the Mechanical Eyes, where we got shot on again. And then we tried again, when finally this happened.
Easy.
Da, easy.
One down, 2 left to go. To defeat a mechanical boss, live fruit starts to spawn in the underground jungle to increase your health even more. So we went looking for some without realizing that it takes a couple days before they even start growing. So back home, I made myself a mana cloak accessory, and by this point we also got our hands on the rollerblades, which are a crazy movement item. One of the things we thought we might need in the future is potions, so I set up a plant farm for potion ingredients, but in all honesty we didn't use it like once. We wanted to try and get all the NPCs to our village, so we went on a small side quest to find the golfer and the tax tax collector, and the rest was kind of a waiting game. However, I took a minute to change up the drip to something that matched the magic vibes a bit more. With most of the NPCs here, we decided to move them out a bit. Each NPC has living preferences in terms of people and biomes, which is great practice. They'll then give you discounts in pylons you can teleport to. I made a little house for the garden merchant and put the forest pylon in there, after which I made another little house in the forest for the zoologist and golfer. We were feeling brave the next day, so we spawned in the destroyer, which despawned like 2 seconds later because it turned into day. After that, whilst I was planting some trees, I got the conservationist achievement for having planted 100 acorns. The next night, we summoned the destroyer again, where we actually managed to take him down, meaning only one was left. On my way to finish another NPC house, I got the bulldoze achievement for destroying 10,000 tiles, and straight after got the leading landlord achievement for talking with a tenant who is at max happiness. Of course he's the happiest, he gets to live with a nurse. With that, I put down a desert pylon in the armed dealer and nurse's house before making another house for the steampunker and the cyborg who will join later. I then made another house in the snow for the tax collector before attempting the third and final mechanical boss, which went down extremely easily. Anyways, defeating all 3 mechanical bosses granted the Buckets of Bolts achievement. With the 3 components from the bosses, we made the minecart upgrade kits, and I upgraded my armor set to Hallow. After that, I made a house in the jungle for the Witch Doctor and the Dryad, as well as the jungle pylon. At this point, the best summoner weapon is the Optic Staff, which summons these stupid eyes, but with the mechanical bosses down, the next boss up was the Rose Toy, which is found in the underground jungle. After exploring down there for a while, we stumbled upon the jungle temple and some chlorophyte, which is now the best ore we can get. Mining some granted a photosynthesis achievement. We found a door to the temple as well, but turns out you can't go in before killing Plantera. Anyhow, the first life fruits we got, we chucked into Shimmer for Aegis fruit to increase our defense. Now that we needed to fight Plantera to progress, we started digging out an arena for that fight. Whilst doing that, I found another life fruit, and eating it unlocked the Get a Life achievement. Once the arena was ready, we attempted the Plantera fight, but we seemed to get humbled every time we try a new boss. To light up the mood, the party girl came to our base and threw a party, granting the Jolly Jamboree achievement. That day, we also got Slime Rain, and defeating the King Slime unlocked the Sticky Situation achievement. Back in the jungle, we made our arena a bit bigger and tried again. This time, Plantera went down without a problem, unlocking the Great Southern Plant Kill achievement as well as the Temple Door. From that fight, I got the Swasp Gun and this Leaf Blower, which are a decent upgrade from what I had previously. We started making our way into the temple now, and I may have forgotten to record this, but I got 3 achievements in a row. The Several Fools achievement for killing a nymph, Real Estate Agent for having all NPCs move in as the cyborg finally arrived, and the Temple Raider achievement for entering the temple. The proof is here, literally a minute apart. Oopsies. Anyways, the temple was rough. We just kept on dying a lot. I'll let the video speak for itself. Eventually, we reached the Golem room, which is minuscule. Anyways, we summoned the Golem, which went just about as well as you'd expect. Once we got back, turns out a solar eclipse was happening, and we died so much that our base turned into a graveyard. But when the solar eclipse was finished, we got the Kill the Sun achievement. After that, I got the Snow Pylon and made a house in the ocean for the Angler and Pirate with the Ocean Pylon. The dungeon has now gotten harder after Plantera and hence got more loot, so I headed down there and killing one of the monsters got me the Robbing the Grave achievement. Unlocking one of the new chests down there also got us the Big Booty achievement. I also found the Spectre Staff, which was a decent upgrade yet again. With enough ectoplasm from the dungeon, I made myself the Spectre Armor, which is pretty strong and gives me immense aura. We also found the Morning Star in the dungeon, which is a great summoner whip. We were feeling pretty brave with our new gear, so we set up a mini arena in the temple to fight the Golem, and so we summoned him in where this happened.
Easy.
Defeating the Golem granted the Lizardian Idol achievement. Feeling even braver, we summoned the Pumpkin Moon that night. The Morning Wood boss can drop necromantic scrolls, which lets you have more minions and increases their damage. So we started farming a couple of Pumpkin Moons. Once the night was over, we got the Baleful Harvest achievement. Even though we didn't get any scrolls, I still got what I can pass as the most OP item in the game, the Witch's Broom. Infinite flight with great speed. It's ridiculously overpowered, and it matches the magic class strip, so... I then made a house by the Shimmer Pool for the Demolitionist and Tavern Keep with an Aid the Pylon, another house in the jungle for the Clothier and Painter, one more in the Underworld for the Mechanic and Goblin, and finally one for the Stylist and Wizard in the Hallow. After that, I made myself the Celestial Cuffs, which are a great magic accessory. Now, the best summoning staff in the game is the Terra Prisma, which you get by defeating the Empress of Light during the day.
Oh, hello! Don't go choose!
The catch is, she one-shots you.
One top!
Okay, boss.
And let me tell you, we died a lot. But with all the NPCs moved out, we cleared that eyesore of a base before taking on the Martians. The thing about Martians is that this UFO has a chance to drop the Xeno staff, which is great as my friend was pretty underpowered now. The problem was actually killing it. This thing was no joke, but completing the Martian event granted the Tin Foil Hatter achievement. From that though, I got a charged blaster cannon, so we fought the Martians again, but still no staff. One of the last accessories I needed for a full magic build was the Celestial Emblem. For that, you need the Celestial Magnet, which you get from Sky Islands. The chests were not helpful, so the last resort was fishing for crates. We tried fighting the cultists, but you know exactly how it always goes. So instead we took on the Old One's army to get some defender medals, with which I got the ballista staff for my friend. With that, we fought the Martians again, but instead of the Xeno staff, we got a stupid UFO mount. 4 times the charm, with still no staff, but instead I got this laser machine gun. During all that madness, my friend built this beautiful house, which was definitely not a tutorial, but by the 6th time, we finally got the Xeno staff, which summons these UFOs. We also got enough life fruits to max out our health, which granted the top off achievement. With that, we summoned the Pumpkin Moon again in hopes of getting those scrolls, but zilch. However, I got myself the Dark Artist leggings from the Tavern Keep, after which we summoned in the Duke Fishron, which has some really good loot. But what the fuck are you supposed to do when he does this Shadow Domain expansion shit? But right after that, we got the Heliophobia achievement for turning a gnome to stone. Not a clue how that happened though. But we tried to fight with the fish again, where this happened.
Let's go! The summoner! The summoner!
Defeating the Duke unlocked the Fish Out of Water achievement. Be curious to know how that really good loot looks like? This bubble gun. We summoned the fish a couple more times because there was even more loot it could drop, which we got eventually. And we also summoned another Pumpkin Moon for those scrolls, which we finally got, thank god. The fish also dropped this aura-filled costume, and I was fully embodying the magic class at this point. After that, we summoned the Frost Moon event, because again, it's got some really good drops, like the Razor Plan and Blizzard stuff, which is kinda lucky that we both got on the first try. Once that finished, we got the Ice Cream achievement from the Frost Moon event. With all of our new gear, we tried fighting the Lunatic again, but today was not the day. We tried again the next day, and we died with a literal ass crack of health left. So we switched up and tried fighting the Empress of Light, but the fight doesn't last very long when you get one shot. So back to the Lunatics we went, and still died. We're very persistent, so we tried it again where this happened.
Hi, let's go. Let's go. Let's go!
Finally defeating the Lunatic granted the Obsessive Devotion achievement, and hence started the Lunar events, which spawns these 4 pillars. Defeating the Nebula pillar gave these fragments, which I used to make the Nebula Blaze, which is ridiculously good. Defeating the Stardust pillar gave some fragments with which you can make the Dragon Staff and Constellation Whip, which is almost the best setup for the summoner. With a new ship, we thought we'd try the Empress of Light again, but it's the daytime Empress of Light, for fuck's sake, what were we thinking? I did however make myself the Nebula Arcanum as well, which is great for crowd control. Defeating the 4th and final pillar granted a Star Destroyer achievement and ultimately spawned the Moon Lord, the final boss of the game. All of our work amassed to this moment right here, and it went something like this.
What the fuck?
Calm down, bro. Daddy's here.
I mean, it was close. We refused to give up. We instead summoned the Empress of Light. Obviously, we died again, so we changed our equipment up a bit and got some potions, then summoned the Moon Lord again, but no luck. We were slowly getting more and more desperate, so we changed tactics. Different accessory setup, crafted a bunch of different potions, different location. We were determined to do it this time. The 3rd time went something like this. Back to square one. We were left demoralized after that, so we resorted to just raw dogging it until we got lucky one time. 4th try didn't get us anywhere, so we summoned him a 5th time, but to no avail. We thought attempt 6 would be the one, and we were left disheartened again. Attempt 7 started slowly becoming our breaking point. Why? Why was it that the Moon Lord was shitting on us so bad? So we tried again, an 8th time, but every run was the same. And attempt 9 went exactly how you'd expect. But surely, the 10th run had to be the one. Or maybe the 11th? 12th? 13th? 14? At this point I had to take a mental break. I touched some grass, reconnected with nature, and devised a new plan, better than ever. I made some regeneration potions and sashimi, and we changed our strategy. We always died on the second phase from these shitty tiny lasers. Turns out they have a pretty limited range, so all you need to do, just beeline it in one direction and have the other person chase after. With this new plan, the 15th attempt went something like this. With literal slithers of health left, the Moon Lord went down, unlocking the Champion of Terraria achievement for defeating him and the Slayer of World achievement for defeating every boss. One of the drops from the Moon Lord was the Terrarian Yo-Yo, granting the Sick Throw achievement as well. With the Luminite bars from the Moon Lord, I made myself the Nebula armor set, which is the best magic armor in the game, and matter of fact, we were feeling so good at this point that we summoned the Moon Lord again just to make sure he knows his place. From that fight, I got the last prism, the most OP magic item, meaning I was at the literal peak of the magic class. After that, my friend also made a Stardust armor, which is the best armor for the summoner. I mean, look at him, pure aura. At this point, the beef with the Moon Lord was personal, but we were already thinking about our next step up. So, we summoned all 3 mechanical bosses, which straight up just disappeared, granting the Mecha Mayhem achievement. Well, that was definitely a rollercoaster of emotions. Now that the main game is complete, we're still left with all the random ass side quest achievements, and some of them are quite something. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching my video. If you enjoyed, a like, comment, or sharing this with your friends would mean a lot more than you can imagine. If you want to see the rest of this journey, do consider subscribing to the channel. These videos take weeks and weeks to plan, film, and edit, so please bear with me. Peace.